Coworkers are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, but most of the time you end up with a bunch of nuts.
I worked in an office that was a large open room with a sea of cubicles. Arlene, the receptionist, sat at the far end of the building. Whenever she would answer the phone and have to transfer a call, she had this crazy method of checking to see if people were available. She would stand up on her chair, peer over the top of her cubicle with a pair of binoculars, and scan the horizon like a corporate bird watcher.
A man I used to work with wore his hair in a mullet. Our coworkers used to tease him about it, but it was all in good fun, and he seemed to take the ribbing in stride. One day, he decided to hold a raffle where the winner would get to cut off his ponytail. So gross. After the haircutting ceremony in the conference room, he hung the lock of hair outside his cubicle. A few months later, the ponytail actually disappeared. He did not take the prank in stride. He went around the office angrily questioning everyone. When no one fessed up, he actually punched a hole in the wall next to the freight elevator.
When I worked retail, my coworker Casey clocked out for lunch at noon and never came back. A couple hours later, the store manager had to scramble to find a replacement. He finally got one of my friends to come over on her day off. At the end of the night, when we went to the stockroom to pull merchandise, we found Casey asleep and snoring on the floor.
One of my coworkers brings in huge, elaborate meals his wife prepares for him. They're always very pungent and require assembly. Think overstuffed, oozing wraps, or family-sized cuts of meat that he cuts with a plastic knife. When he's finished, he whips out a roll of dental floss and cleans his teeth at his desk. Ugh.
This one woman at work always clips her fingernails at her desk, and not like a hangnail once in a while, but all 10 fingers, usually right around lunchtime. Apparently, the smell of other people's reheated Thai food really puts her in the mood to groom.
I used to work with a man whom several of my coworkers referred to as the Jangler. He walked around with his pockets full of spare change. Whenever he had to come over to your desk for a conversation, he would stick his hands in his pockets while he talked and rattle his excessive coinage. Somebody really needed to get this guy an ATM card.
The guy who sat across from me constantly ate junk food at his desk. It wasn't just the disgusting crunching noises and the lip smacking that bothered me either. He'd leave stray Cheeto crumbs and broken pretzel rods all around the floor circling his swivel chair, as if he were building an edible wall to protect himself. Set to open in early 2018, SUNY Adirondack's new Regional Workforce Readiness Center will train the business leaders of tomorrow, support local entrepreneurs, and be a driving force in the upstate New York economy.